I knew something was wrong the moment the elevator doors opened into the garage. My steps echoed too loudly, bouncing off the concrete like a warning I did not want to hear. I headed toward my usual spot, second row from the entrance, trying to convince myself I was imagining the unease tightening in my chest. Then I saw the empty space. My assigned slot, the one I walked to every day for nearly 3 years, was just bare. No silver Honda Accord, no familiar shape, nothing. For a second, my mind refused to process it. I even looked behind me, as if maybe I had walked to the wrong level, but the painted number on the pole stared back at me. It was my spot, and it was empty. My throat tightened. "No," I whispered, though no one was around to hear it. I fumbled for my phone and called my mother. She answered immediately, her voice brisk and cheerful, the same tone she used to soothe toddlers and dismiss adults. "Hi, honey." "What's going on, Mom?" I said, breath-catching. "My car is gone. It's not in the garage. I think someone stole it." A beat of silence. Then a light laugh. "Oh, sweetheart, relax. We lent it to Elias." The words hit so hard I almost dropped the phone. "You." What I forced out. "Your brother had an early orientation at the construction site in Gresham. He just needed something reliable. His car is still in the shop." I pressed my free hand to my forehead. "You took my car without telling me we did not take it," she corrected. "We borrowed it. Families do that. I did not say you could take it." I snapped. "I did not even know. You went into my apartment and took my spare key." "We had a copy made months ago," she said casually. "You work a lot. We needed access in case of emergencies." My stomach twisted. "Giving Elias my car is not an emergency." "It is important," she said, voice sharpening. "He is trying to turn his life around." At the cost of my life, my voice broke, and I hated that she could hear it. "This is the car I spent 62 months paying off." "You had no right." "Oh, Celeste, do not be dramatic. Your brother needed it more than you do. You can take the bus." Something snapped cleanly inside me, years of biting my tongue, of being the reliable one, the reasonable one, the invisible one. "I am calling the police," I said. "Celeste Rowan, do not." I ended the call. My hands were shaking as I dialed 911. When the operator picked up, I forced my voice steady. "I need to report a stolen vehicle," I said. "My 2022 Honda Accord Touring, silver. My parents took it without permission and gave it to my brother." The operator hesitated only a moment before shifting into protocol. As I stood alone in the cold garage, the story I never wanted to tell started to unfold. And if you are listening, do not forget to subscribe, like, and follow along, because what happened after this moment changed everything. "I will wait here," I told the operator. "Please send someone." The officer arrived faster than I expected. I was still standing beside the empty space when a calm voice echoed behind me. "Celeste Rowan." I turned to see a tall woman in uniform, her badge catching the fluorescent light. "Officer Klein." She introduced herself. "You reported a stolen vehicle." "Yes," I said, the word scraping out of my throat. "My parents took my car and gave it to my brother. I did not give permission." She nodded, not surprised, not confused, just focused. "Let's go over everything. Registration first." I handed her the folder I kept in my glove compartment. She studied it, flipping through the papers with quick, practiced movements. "The Accord is registered solely to you," she said. "Insurance under your name. Loan showing payoff a few months ago." Her tone remained neutral, but her eyebrows drew together slightly. "And you never authorized anyone to take the car." "No," I said. "The spare key was in my apartment. They must have used a copy." "Did you ever tell them they could make one?" "No." "Did you give them general access to your apartment?" I hesitated. "They kept a key for emergencies." But this was not an emergency. Officer Klein held my gaze. All right, that matters. She took down every detail, including Elias's record: 2 accidents, 1 DUI, 1 suspended license. I saw her expression sharpen at that part. We treat this seriously, she said. Unauthorized use of a vehicle, potentially more, depending on circumstances. A tremor went through me. Hearing the law spoken out loud made everything feel suddenly real. As she typed her final notes into her tablet, my phone began buzzing. First one call, then another, then another. I ignored all of them. Your family, Officer Klein asked. Yes. She nodded again, like this was a pattern she had seen many times. Just so you know, family involvement does not change the legal status. If you did not give permission, this is still a crime. Her words hit with a strange mix of validation and grief. When she finished, she said, "We will enter the vehicle as stolen. If it is spotted, officers will pull it over. It may take some time, so stay available." I thanked her quietly, and she walked back to her cruiser. As soon as she left, my phone lit up again, this time with Dad's name. I answered because I knew he would just keep calling. His voice exploded through the speaker. "What have you done, Celeste?" "What you did," I said. "You took something that was not yours." "We borrowed it," he snapped. "Your brother needed it for 1 day. 1 day. He is driving without permission." I said, "That is illegal." "Oh, do not throw laws at me." He shot back. "We raised you, we helped you, and you repay us with a police report. Are you out of your mind?" My chest tightened, but I forced my voice steady. "I spent 62 months paying for that car. I worked extra shifts. I walked to work in the rain when I could not afford gas." "You had no right to touch it." "You can take the bus," he said. "Elias cannot." "That is not my responsibility." "You are being selfish." Something inside me hardened. "No, I am done being convenient." Dad's voice lowered into a furious growl. "You drop that police report right now. You hear me right now. I am not dropping anything. You are destroying this family. I am enforcing a boundary you ignored." He breathed hard into the phone, each exhale sharp. "If anything happens to Elias because of you, that is on him," I said. He took a car that was not his. "Your mother is crying." He spat. "Then she should think about why." Silence, cold, strangling silence stretched across the line. Then I ended the call and blocked his number the same way I had blocked hers. For a long moment, I stared at my dark screen, surrounded by concrete, echoes, and a kind of emptiness I had carried for years. But beneath it, something new stirred, thin, shaky, but real, a beginning. My phone vibrated non-stop during the ride home. I ignored the first few calls, but the notifications kept stacking until the screen was filled with names I had not spoken to in months. I finally picked up when I saw Aunt Marianne calling, if only to stop the noise. She did not even say hello. "Celeste, what on earth are you thinking? Calling the police on your own brother. I reported my car stolen," I said. "Because it was stolen." "Oh, come on. Families do things like this. You should have talked it out instead of causing a legal mess." "I did talk," I said. They did not listen. "Well," she huffed, "now Elias could be in serious trouble. Your parents are beside themselves." "They should be," I said quietly. She gasped like I had slapped her. "You used to be so reasonable." "I am still reasonable," I said. "I am just not disposable." I ended the call before she could scold me again. 2 minutes later, Cousin Drew called. His voice was sharp. "I heard you blew things way out of proportion. Elias is struggling. You know that. I know." I said, "That is why he should not be behind the wheel of a car he does not own." "Wow," he muttered. "Cold." I did not respond. The line stayed silent until he hung up. Then came Uncle Nolan. Slower. heavier. Always the voice of guilt. Celeste, your parents have done so much for you. Is this really how you repay them? Dad told me I should take the bus, I said. For a car I worked nearly 6 years to afford. You are the stable one, he said softly. You can handle it. Elias cannot. That is the problem, I whispered. Everyone assumes I can handle everything. He sighed. Just drop the report. No, I said. Not this time. After he hung up, the silence in my apartment felt thick, pressing against my ribs. I sat on the edge of my couch and tried to breathe through the ache clawing up my chest. Images flickered behind my eyes, memories I had shoved down for years. Selling my violin in college so Elias could pay his court fines after his DUI. Working double shifts all summer so my parents could afford to cover his rent. Driving a rusted Corolla with a broken air conditioner while they bought him another fresh start vehicle. Every sacrifice had been phrased the same way Elias needs it more. You are strong. You can wait. I stared at my phone again, at the flood of notifications filled with scolding voices, and felt something shift deep inside me. This time, I was not going to wait. This time, I was not going to bend. And when the next call came in, Mom, again, I let it ring until it died. The next morning, I tried to work. My computer screen glowed with half-finished reports, but the words blurred together. Every few minutes, I checked my phone, then forced myself to look away. Around late morning, it finally rang, and this time, the number belonged to Officer Klein. I answered instantly. Hello. Her voice was steady. Celeste, we located your vehicle. My breath caught. Where, Gresham? An officer pulled your brother over for speeding. The Accord came up as reported stolen. She paused, letting the next part land carefully. Because of his prior DUI and the reckless driving citation on record, they took him into custody. A wave rolled through me. Relief, guilt, justice, all tangled together. Is he all right? He is fine, she said, but he is under arrest. Your car has been impounded for evidence. You will be able to retrieve it soon. I swallowed hard. Thank you for telling me. One more thing, she added. Your parents called the station demanding we drop the report. We explained that is not how this works. A dry sound escaped me, half laugh, half ache. I am sure they were thrilled. They were persistent, she said politely. When we ended the call, I set my phone down and stared at my desk. A moment later, footsteps approached, and Maren Clark, my co-worker, leaned against the doorframe holding 2 steaming cups. I heard something happened, she said gently. Thought you might need this. I took the cocoa with a shaky hand. My brother was arrested. He was driving my car. Maren did not flinch. Good. I looked up at her, startled. What else were you supposed to do? She asked. He stole your car. Your parents put you in danger by enabling him. Someone had to stop the cycle. Her bluntness cracked something loose inside me. I let out a breath I had been holding since the night before. They all think I am destroying the family, I said quietly. Maren shook her head. Your family destroyed the balance when they assumed you would never fight back. I sat with that, the truth of it settling deeper than I expected. And for the first time since the garage, the tightness in my chest eased, not gone, but loosened enough to breathe. I reached the impound lot just after noon. The clerk barely looked up when I handed over my paperwork, but when she returned with my keys, she gave me a sympathetic glance. Your car is in row 7, she said. Looks intact. I thanked her and walked toward the lot until I spotted the silver Accord. Relief hit first, then something heavier. The moment I opened the door, the smell of fast food and spilled energy drink drifted out. Crumpled wrappers covered the passenger seat. Mud streaked across the floor mats. The gas gauge hovered just above empty. I gripped the door frame, steadying myself. It was not the mess. It was the entitlement written all over it, like my brother had climbed inside something I worked for and decided to treat it the same way he treated everything handed to him. I climbed in anyway and started picking up trash with slow, deliberate movements. A torn receipt, a half-crushed can, a napkin soaked with something sticky. Each piece felt like a small confession from Elias, a quiet reminder that nothing I cared about was safe in his hands. While I cleaned, my phone buzzed again, this time with a number I recognized. Grandma Beatrice. I almost let it go to voicemail. Almost. But I finally answered. Celeste. Her voice trembled just enough to make my stomach twist. I heard about Elias. I am picking up my car. I said, it is a disaster. Your parents are frantic, she said softly. They said you would not listen. I listened. I said, they just did not say anything worth hearing. Beatrice breathed in slowly. I want to see you. Today. My hands paused over the console. I do not think that is a good idea right now. Please, she said. I am already outside your building. My heart sank. Grandma, I will wait in the lobby until you get home. There was no anger in her voice. That almost made it worse. I finished cleaning what I could, drove to the nearest station, and filled the tank, with every mile toward my apartment. The tension tightened again. Not fear this time, but something deeper, older, something that had been growing under my ribs for years. When I pulled into the lot, Grandma Beatrice was sitting on a bench near the entrance, her hands folded neatly in her lap. She stood the moment she saw me. Celeste, she said, her eyes searching mine. We need to talk. And for the first time in my life, I was not afraid of what that talk might lead to. Grandma followed me upstairs without speaking, her steps slower than I remembered. When I unlocked the door, she paused on the threshold, as if crossing into my apartment meant crossing into the truth everyone else had been avoiding. I set my keys down. You came a long way. She eased into a chair at my kitchen table. Your parents are beside themselves, Celeste. I sat across from her. They should be. Her eyes softened, but her voice stayed firm. Elias is in serious trouble. They are saying he might face a misdemeanor or worse, depending on how the judge sees his history. I know, I said. And you are still going through with this? Yes. Her breath trembled. He is your brother, and I am their daughter, I said quietly. But that did not stop them. Grandma looked down at her folded hands. Your mother said you hung up on her. She told me to take the bus. I said. She said Elias needed my car more than I did. That was wrong of her, Grandma admitted. Surprising me, but dragging this through court will mark him for life. I leaned back, exhausted. Grandma, I have spent my entire life paying for his mistakes. I helped with his DUI fines. I covered his rent when he blew his paycheck on nonsense. I let them take everything from me because I was the strong one. I am tired. She watched me with eyes that were older than I remembered. Then tell me what you want. Truly. The room went still. I want Elias to take responsibility, I said. Not excuses. Not another lecture about how fragile he is. I want him to stand in front of someone and say he chose this. Grandma nodded slowly. And your parents. They need to admit they were wrong, I said, that they crossed a line, that they stole from me. That will not be easy for them. It never is, I said. But I am done carrying the weight for everyone. Grandma's face shifted sadness, pride, fear, all tangled together. She reached for her purse and stood. I will tell them what you said, she murmured. Tell them, I replied, that this time I am not stepping aside. She walked to the door, paused as if wanting to say more, then left quietly. The latch clicked behind her, leaving the apartment in silence. But for once, the silence felt like mine. 2 weeks later, I found myself sitting in the back row of a small courtroom, hands clasped so tightly my knuckles ached. The air felt thick, stale wood, old carpet, and the quiet hum of whispered conversations. Elias entered with a public defender at his side. His shoulders were slumped, his hair uncombed, his eyes darting everywhere except toward me. Behind him, Mom and Dad rushed in, flanking him like guards protecting royalty. They did not look at me. Not even once. The judge called the room to order. The public defender stepped forward. "Your Honor, my client will accept the plea agreement and read his statement." The judge nodded. "Proceed." Elias unfolded a sheet of paper. His hands shook. Elias Rowan," he began, voice thin. "Admit that I took my sister's vehicle without permission on May 17th. He swallowed hard before continuing. "I knew the car did not belong to me. I knew I did not have permission. I took it anyway because I thought she would forgive me, like she always does." Mom stiffened beside him. Dad's jaw locked. "What I did was wrong." Elias said, "I am sorry." He lowered the paper, still staring at the floor. For a heartbeat, I waited not for forgiveness, but for acknowledgement, a glance, a flicker, something. Nothing came. The judge accepted the plea: 9 months probation, mandatory counseling, restitution for the impound fees, and a 1-year suspension of his license. Mom's eyes stayed trained on Elias. Dad kept one hand on his son's back, guiding him protectively toward the exit. Neither of them turned, not even when I stood, not even as I walked past them. Outside, the wind was sharp, tugging at my coat. I closed my eyes and breathed through the cold. No one followed, and strangely, that emptiness felt steadier than their presence ever had. 6 months passed quietly, the kind of quiet that comes after a house has burned down and all that remains are cooling embers. Elias finished probation. My parents bought him a used RAV4 because they said he deserved a second chance. They never mentioned the Accord. They never mentioned me. They also never called asking for help again. Only Grandma Beatrice reached out. She phoned every Sunday evening, her voice warm but cautious. "Have you spoken to your mother?" she asked one night. "No," I said. "She misses you," Grandma murmured. "She knows where I live." Grandma hesitated. "She said she might reach out if you are ready to ease the tension." I felt my jaw tighten. All she has to say is one sentence, and that is that she stole my car. I said. Not that I was dramatic, not that I overreacted. I want her to name what she did. Grandma exhaled. "You always did ask for the truth. I always received everything but," I said. Another month passed. Then, one afternoon, I opened my mailbox and found an envelope with messy handwriting. Elias. I carried it upstairs, sat on the edge of my bed, and opened it slowly. I am in counseling now. I finally understand why I thought everyone should fix things for me. I am not asking for forgiveness. I just wanted to say I was wrong. The letter was short, uneven, almost trembling. It felt real in a way nothing else from my family ever had. I folded it carefully and placed it in my drawer. I did not cry. I did not smile. I simply let it sit there, the first honest thing he had ever given me. That evening, I walked down to the parking lot. My Accord sat in its assigned space, clean and locked. A steel steering wheel lock glinting faintly through the window. I rested my hand on the hood, feeling the cool metal beneath my palm. If you have followed my story this far, stay with me, subscribe, and keep listening because healing from family is never a straight line. But this moment was mine. Respect, not blood, was what made it family from here on out.